I'm joined in studio now by eNCA's Political Editor Vuyo Mvoko. Good evening, Vuyo. This weekend there's an ANC lekgotla. I understand ostensibly it's all about the economy. We got a press release just a little earlier, the President announcing that on Sunday he's launching a big infrastructure mega project. But I have to ask, with the kind of week we've had, surely the fact that these arrests are getting close to former mayors, former MPs, the ANC must be seized with this issue of accountability at last.
You're right, Sal. The meeting currently underway, which would have started this morning at 10, is ostensibly about the economic recovery plan for the country. I mean, for an organization that has arrogated unto itself the role to lead society, this ought to have happened long ago, I would argue. And yes, you are right, there is something going on here. There was just too many coincidences, if that's correct English, that happened this week. I mean, organized business has been complaining about the lack of coherence, lack of agency, no detail, no focus in what the government is putting on the table at NEC, for example, by way of what it thinks is going to get us out of the economic problems that we are in on the back of the serious blow that COVID-19 has actually, hit us with. Now, an hour ago, as you say, the presidency announcing that they are launching a 30 billion rand project here in Gauteng. Now, one of the sticking points in the conversations that they've been having with their civil society partners, organized labor, organized business, and civil society at NEC has been Eskom. That without a functioning Eskom, without electricity, our economy is not going to go anywhere. Even with the greenfields projects that the government is talking about, these infrastructure projects it's been talking about, or other new ventures that may come through from pledges that are being made by business. Without electricity, that is not going to happen. Guess what? Again, a short while ago, in the weekly newsletter that the ANC issues, the president devotes 3 pages of that 12 or 16-page newsletter to Eskom. Even though there's really nothing new, but you can see that there is a great deal of effort being put into giving stakeholders assurances that we're doing something about this. Do you think Tokoti Diza's pronouncements yesterday, 700,000 hectares of land to be released? No, because it is the ANC's economic committee that has been saying, comrades, you are talking about land expropriation without compensation, yet at national, provincial, local levels, you are in charge of land and assets that you can actually find ways of, making work and giving them to people who deserve it. Boom, a day ago, she does this. Yesterday again, ICASA announces that, hey, we're going to invite people to bid for the spectrum. Too much of a coincidence, if you ask me.
Do you think that there's suddenly after COVID, well, we're through, but there's suddenly this like, right now it's time to act and it's a coincidence? Or is it like, this is the time to make it happen and everything has to happen? It sounds like someone's read Someone the Riot Act. But I don't know, for example, with the corruption cases, they take months and months and months to put together.
Correct. And that is the question, isn't it? Because even from the examples I have given, if you read, you go through, you still feel that this is not the best that this government can do. At least there is movement. Should we be grateful? Of course, it's something that ought to have happened. Yeah. But we should press them for more. And I suspect this is what is going to happen at this lekgotla. Because remember, it's not just ANC people who are form part of it. There's business there, there's organized labor there. And then on Sunday, there's going to be an extended National Working Committee meeting of the ANC, which I would suspect is to look at everything that would have been discussed today, and with everything that is happening in the country, somewhat arrive at a position that they believe will indicate to the nation come Monday or Tuesday, when, the second day of this lekgotla is, of course, Monday. Then come Tuesday, perhaps, they will then come up with something that they believe will have appeal across the board, across sections of South Africa.
This is the economic plan we've been waiting for.
Yes, for a while. But do remember, or keep this at the back of your mind, that we've been here before.
Yes, we have.
Long before COVID hit us, we've had stimuli that people said were not really stimuli. We've had initiatives that were announced that never took us anywhere, let alone where we were told they were going to take us. So we are not, this is not the time to get excited yet, but as we have been saying in the past few minutes, we are in a space that we perhaps haven't been before, but the question is whether it's going to take us very
But I have to ask you, the statements just come through from Dr. Zweli Mkhize on Edwin Sodi's donations to the ANC. I've received various media queries regarding the payment of $6.5 million made by Sodi, where my name has been put as a reference. Of course, this happened at the State Capture Commission this week. I wish to categorically state I have never received any funds from him, either personally or through a third party. I can confirm during my tenure as ANC Treasurer General, Sodi, just like many other business persons, companies and organizations, made donations to the ANC. I wish to confirm further that during my tenure as ANC Treasurer General, Sodi either directly or through his entities made the following donations, and there is a list: 3 million, 3.5, 1.5, 150,000. That last one was in 2016. So it's quite interesting because people are being named now.
And that's really the point, isn't it? The fact that now that information has come forward, people are starting to, give explanations. But there's a couple of things that are undisputed here. And this is what the ANC would have to confront. I doubt it would confront that today. Perhaps business, labor, and other people who've invited will raise this, or may raise this. But at its extended NWC meeting on Sunday, the ANC would have to confront, among others, this very question of, now that there is prima facie evidence, or by your own admission, as is the case with Zweli Mkhize now, you have benefited handsomely, from corruption. What are you going to do? Are you going to pay back the money? And is it going to end there? If you are able to even pay back that money, given that you can't even pay your own staff, as was the case this week. But the second thing that the ANC would have to confront is that category of its deployees and friends, like the Northwest Premier, who was Director General, who signed off 40...
the aviation stuff.
How do you sit there as a Premier now and say you're part of the cleanup when under your watch you just signed off, just like that? Public money which went to the wrong hands. What then does the ANC do with that category of people over and above having to be consistent on that other one of throwing or asking people to resign or step back from public office where they have been charged or are facing the kind of stuff we've seen this week?
Vuyo, it is...
So, in a nutshell, the ANC is going to have to do a lot more than what we've already seen this week, commendable as it is, whatever may have precipitated it, but this can be where it stops. This should only be the beginning.
Does feel like it's reaching a critical mass. Thank you very much, Vuyo Mvoko, eNCA's political editor.